Hi, everyone. My name is Priscilla Piper, and welcome to the Decision to Dance podcast. In today's episode, I will be sharing 10 reasons why I love dance. I had posted this reel on Instagram that actually shared my 10 reasons why I love to dance. So I'm going to be essentially elaborating on those 10 reasons. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So, the first one is because dance is for everybody, no matter your age, your ability, your background, your interests. It doesn't matter who you are, it is for everybody. And if you are like a living human being, you are a dancer. We all are dancers. Like, we dance at weddings, we dance in our car, we dance with our friends. We don't have to be in class or dancing professionally to enjoy dance. And on top of that, you can be an audience member as well. You can enjoy it from afar. So it's for everybody. I feel like I wouldn't believe a single person that said that they don't enjoy either at least dancing or watching dance. I just, I don't believe that at all. And something that I think about is like when I'm older, what I'll be doing, and I hope that I'm still dancing. There's somebody that I've seen online who has been tap dancing in her retirement community at 102 years old. She went by the dancing Nana, and her name is Shirley Goodman. And unfortunately, I believe she recently passed, but I was so inspired by her videos, and it's just a perfect example of how it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter if you're 2 years old to 102 years old. And sometimes the most entertaining people aren't the best dancers, it's just the people who love to move and have fun. Sometimes it's that person at a wedding who's just like letting loose and just having the time of their lives, and you can't help but just like watch and have a smile on your face and want to join them too. So I love that reason. And it really holds true to today. I feel like you're seeing even more people get into dance or return to dance, no matter their background, no matter their level, no matter their experience or age. And it's really fun to see. I'm very interested to see what dance looks like in years to come, because I feel like this is just the beginning of something really incredible where we are seeing more and more people returning to the thing that they love or starting the thing that they love even later in life. Number two, it creates a sense of community. And I have a friend that recently was talking to a therapist about wanting to meet more people and make more friends, and the therapist had recommended to attend like exercise and workout classes to just meet people. And I never really realized how easy it is to meet people as dancers, because the more you take class, the more people you meet. And we are very lucky to be involved in something that makes it so easy to be a part of community. And everyone has something in common. I think something that's really interesting to me is that I think there's a lot of people you would never meet in your lifetime because your paths didn't cross, but they crossed because you have the same interest in dance. So I think that's really cool that you're able to surround yourself with different types of people. Going back to my first point, you're able to meet such a variety and diverse group of people. And what's cool too is that there are dance classes offered all around the world. So no matter where you live, of course, it will depend on how many classes are offered in your area, but you can fly across the world and do the same thing. Go to a class and not know a single soul and talk to the person next to you and make a new friend. And if you keep doing that, you'll have a lot of friends. And I think it's just such an easy way to be a part of a community. And I remember actually when the pandemic hit and classes shut down, I remember being stuck at home and realizing one of the many reasons I dance was to be a part of the community. Like, I didn't realize part of the reason I kept showing up was because I wanted to be around people. I wanted to be around my friends. I wanted to have that human interaction with other people who have the same interest and passion as I do. Number three, it allows you to escape the hardships of life for just a moment. I think we can all relate to this. And I remember when I was dancing consistently, there were things going on in my life, and I was just like having a rough time, but then being able to go to class and just like shut out the world, shut out life, shut out other people and my problems and other people's problems. And it could just quiet down for an hour or two or three, depending on how many classes I was taking. All of those things still would be there when I got home, but it was so nice to just forget for a minute. And there's nothing else that does this for me like dance does. I can be in any type of an exercise class, but I'm going to be looking at the clock in those classes. But I rarely look at the clock when I'm in a dance class unless I'm having like a really bad day. The time just passes so quickly and I'm able to forget everything going on. I can focus on the teacher, the choreography, the music. I get so focused on what I'm doing that it's easy to just shut out life. And, it's important that we feel our feelings and deal with what we're going through. And in addition to that, it's really helpful, I think, to just put a pause on everything and just like focus on something that you love and something that you enjoy that challenges you mentally and physically. I think that's something too that allows you to really shut everything out because you have to focus. Like, you have to pay attention. There's no choice. And so dance does that for me. And I think we all have been very appreciative for having something like that so that you can take a deep breath, relax, focus on yourself for a minute, recharge, fill your cup back up so that you can go back out into the world and have even more to offer than you would have maybe going into the class the night before. Number four, it challenges you to expand upon your creativity. And this is definitely true if you are a teacher or a choreographer where you are putting steps together, you are creating movement to music and creating in that way. But also as a dancer, you're an artist. You are able to expand upon your own creativity. As a dancer, you're thinking about how can I elevate this choreography? What is the story I'm trying to tell? How does my movement interpret the music? What is my face doing that's telling this character's story? And there's like an infinite number of options there, right? You can play with that in so many different ways, and it's up to you on how you approach it and deliver it and think about what's the meaning behind this? What's the story behind this? What is my message I'm trying to get across here? And what can I do to get that across to the audience? So that if you get into that headspace and challenge yourself to think of those things, especially when you're in class or in any type of an environment where you have not a lot of time to be thinking through those things, it really challenges you to think on your feet quickly and expand upon your own creativity and artistry. And then we have number five, which is you can be an expert and a lifelong learner at the same time. This is personally probably my favorite reason. It's hard to pick a favorite, but I love this about dance so much. No matter how good you get, no matter how advanced you become, no matter how professional you are with all the credits under your belt, there is always something to learn. Whether it's the different styles, I mean, there's so many styles of dance, so many genres, just go down the line. What else can you learn? But even aside from that, what skill set can you improve upon? There's always something to learn. And even if you take it another step further, you have dance, but then you can be a choreographer, you can be a teacher, you can be a director, you can be an assistant, all of these different like branches that you can hold on to and explore as a dancer, which I love. Like, what excites me more than anything is that I get to learn for the rest of my life. No matter how much I improve, no matter how much I excel, I get to learn something new. And that excites me. So when I get to be however old that I am, I hope I have a lot of skill sets and a lot of knowledge in my back pocket because I've spent my entire life, basically, almost my entire life, learning. So I love that so much, and it gets me excited. I feel like this is a type of art that gives you the option to continually challenge yourself. I feel like there's no reason to stay complacent or comfortable when there's so much to learn, and that honestly keeps me going because I want to learn more. I want to get another tool. I want to get another skill set and put it in my back pocket and pull it out whenever I'm wanting to create something or whatever it is that I'm doing. Okay, so number 6, I love being an audience member and watching people do what they love. It gets me every time. Honestly, I've always been this way, and I will say I just love watching people do what they love. It doesn't have to be dance, it can be anything. You can just tell when someone lights up with what they're doing, and it makes me emotional. Like, I love it so much. And I will always be an audience member. I love watching dance, like probably close to equally as much as I enjoy dancing myself. I remember when I returned to dance, I had a moment in class where I was like, I would pay money to watch a dance class. So the fact that I get to participate in a dance class is priceless. It's a priceless feeling. So I would pay money to watch a dance class. When I get to studios and there's a class still happening, if I'm able to watch like through the window, I am like at the window. I'm watching. It doesn't really matter what the class is, who's in the class, what age the class is. It's a bunch of 3-year-olds. I'm watching the class. It doesn't matter. I love watching it. It makes me so happy. And yeah, I'm just like glued to the window. Like, I don't want to sit here and wait for my class. I want to watch the other dancers in the class before me. So there's just something about watching other people, I think, do the thing that you love, but also watching other people do what they love. And it gets me every time. I also remember when I was growing up as a dancer at competitions, I would be on the side of the stage and watch young dancers, like dancers younger than me, perform, and I would just get like emotional. Like, I'm not saying I was like crying or anything, but I would just like feel something like in my chest. And who knows how much those young dancers actually like truly loved what they were doing, I don't know, but I think for me, even as a kid watching that, it just made me feel things that that nothing else makes me feel, honestly. So I'm always an audience member, and I hope I always have dance in my life. I hope I'm always dancing, but if for some reason that changes, I'm always going to love watching other dancers. And number 7 is that dance has the ability to heal in ways that other things cannot. I think we all, as dancers, can relate to this saying, and it's hard to put into words why sometimes. Like, what does that really mean? I feel like you know what that means if you're a dancer, but otherwise it can be kind of hard to explain. But essentially, moving, dancing, like letting all of that physical energy out and not focusing on anything else but dance in that hour or in those hours of that day over time allowed me to break habits that I used to have that were unhelpful, and it allowed me to create better habits and more healing habits for myself. I'm curious what other people would share as their examples, but it's truly like the most cathartic experience, and that's not to dismiss any other way to heal yourself, but movement, dancing to music, expanding upon your creativity, working on using your body and your mind simultaneously just allows you to work through things that other modalities can't always do. And I feel like if you don't understand that feeling, I hope that you do one day. It's an unexplainable feeling, and I wish I could put it into words better than the way I just did. But I'm very thankful to have come across this thing that can be so healing. And number 8 is that I no longer feel like something is missing now that dance is back in my life. And I will say I don't completely feel that way right now just because I haven't been dancing that often. I will say I am easing my way back in finally. So I will be getting back there again. But when I'm dancing consistently, when I'm dancing often, I just feel like I'm on top of the world. And I think what I've learned actually is that my best self is somebody that is like immersed in dance. Like, I remember growing up being so busy with dance, but I thrived in that. I thrived in being like so extremely busy with doing the thing that I loved that when at any point some of that was taken away, it was like, no, I need more. I need more dance in my life to be functioning at my optimal level. Now, you can't always live your life that way, right? Like things happen. You can't always control that, but I've learned that I'm living my best life and I operate much better when I have a lot of dance and creativity happening in my life. Number 9, it makes me work on my physical and mental well being so that I can get the most out of dance. Now, this might be the one that frustrates me the most. Let me tell you, it is not fun when dance calls you out on your personal things that you don't want to address. I remember returning to dance and not being able to look at myself in the mirror. Like for a while, like could not straight up look at myself in the mirror. I would always like kind of look away. And so what does that mean? What did that mean about myself that I couldn't look at myself in the mirror? I remember being really scared of having other people watching me, having attention on me. I remember like literally disassociating in class because I was so stressed out by things. Like, gosh, like the camera is not that serious, but I was literally like blanking out on things because it was a stress response. And so dance was letting me know, hey, you've got this little issue here. When you get stressed out, you like literally completely like shut off. Thanks, Dance. Thanks. Like, I'm just trying to get through class, but thanks for letting me know and reminding me that I've got some like psychological things going on. It's not fun. But the nice part about that is that it really does call you out. And if you want to be your best self as a dancer, you actually have to address these things because that stuff it literally it's a barrier. It prevents you from like going all out. It prevents you from like not caring what other people think. It prevents you from being yourself. It prevents you from being okay with messing up. There's so many things. And also the physical piece of that too. Like if you have any physical challenges going on, anything's tight, anything is weak, your body's gonna let you know really quick. And it sucks. Like it really does, especially when you're in class and you're like, I can't do this movement because my body literally just it's not allowing me to do that. And that's not always a bad thing, you know? And I think it's good to definitely address where you're at and be okay with modifying if that's what you need to do in that moment. But it really has let me know, like, hey, you're not as stretched out as you need to be, you know, or you're not as strong as you need to be to do this movement. And I remember when I had taken like a step back from dance when I was like kind of starting my journey of not dancing consistently over the last couple of years. I prior to that was dancing very consistently for like 2 years. When I had taken a step back, I didn't realize how much pain my body was in, and I mean like my entire body. My hips, my back, my knees. I had a knee injury a few months prior to that. My feet, like literally everything. And so if things are weak, if things are tight, your body's going to let you know real quick, you know? And it's not like when I'm at my full-time job, I'm working on a computer, you know? I'm not using my body like I do when I'm dancing, so it's like no big deal if things are tight, things are weak. I'm just sitting in a chair. But if you want to be your best as a dancer, you have to address those things. Same thing with like the mental challenges too. You know, at what I do in my day-to-day life outside of dance, it's not calling me out on things like dance does. You know, it might a little bit, but not in the way that dancing does. Shout out to dance for forcing me to make improvements in my life. Honestly, I'm very grateful. But when it was all happening, when I was having these realizations, not fun. But in the long run, I'm very appreciative, and I wouldn't be where I am without a lot of those eye-opening experiences. And number 10, dance has a way to share your own story as well as the story of others. I love this reason, and honestly, I hate that I got so far away from that for so many years of my life as a dancer. I'm really appreciative to now be in a place where I know that I can storytell. I can get across a point as a dancer. I can share a character's story. I can tap into their brain. I can tap into what they're feeling, all of that, and literally share a story as a dancer to the audience. And that's like one of the best reasons to be a dancer is to share those stories. Your own story, story of characters, stories of other people. But for many years it was just steps. I'll be honest. It was steps, you know? Like there wasn't much meaning behind what I was doing. And I realize now being on the other side of it, I'm like, oh, that's something that I was lacking for so long. And I'm thankful that I have the tools and ability and skill set to do that. But really I feel like that in a way should be the number one reason that we do this, right? What's the point of performing and putting on a show if there's not a story, right? What's the point of getting on stage and moving to music if you're not trying to share something with the audience? And I love that you can share your own personal story too if you choose to share it in that way. But telling a story, I think, through movement it does something for you as a performer, but also on the other side of it as an audience member, it's it's really enjoyable to experience other people's stories by watching movement. So those are my 10 reasons why I love dance. Let me know if there was a reason that you relate to, or if there's a reason that you choose to dance and I didn't share that. I feel like it's different when you get asked this on the spot compared to when you're able to put some time and effort thinking about this, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm a little bit at a advantage to do that compared to my guests who are caught off guard when I ask them this question. But if there was a reason that you think of that I missed, let me know. And make sure to follow the podcast. That way, other dancers can find our podcast and also benefit from these episodes. So, thank you all so much for taking the time to listen. I appreciate you all as always. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next episode.